moments on television. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Brew. We're talking about great moments in television with our good friend Rosalinda Roman from New Mexicast.
Hello, hello. Yeah, we were talking about in the promo for New Mexicast. If people have seen it, there's that shot of my daughter picking up the sea slug, and her description of that was pretty funny. But that actually is going to be in this week's episode, so we can talk about that.
After this?
Yeah, coming up after this show.
Right after this show today.
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Okay, the episodes that we're going to talk about are all about sand.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, I try to kind of pull different stories together in a theme,
here,
right? And so I'm calling it Sandy Fun. And it's very diverse sand because we begin in or near Alamogordo, New Mexico, white sand. I'm sure you guys, have you been there to white sand?
I was 7 years old. But
perfect place for a 7-year-old.
I really heard a lot about it, and I heard it was the best place to take kids.
It's great.
And of course, I heard about the sledding.
Right.
That you can
So we're
sled down
talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take a peek at the clip if they have it, and you'll see some
of
of that.
We've
got some sledding. These are those huge sand dunes.
They're
made of gypsum.
Day, so
it was
so hot.
It was such a great day for that because you don't want it to be too hot. But actually, the gypsum sand is not hot to the touch.
Oh, really?
And so anyway, we start out with a story about white sands, and you can see the vast distances, and it's so much fun for sledding. And some of this footage is back when my kids were much smaller, and even when Samuel was learning to crawl. And then this is what we move on to. This is in Mexico, outside of Puerto Penasco, where we talk about going all the time. It's called Choya Bay, and it is a place that has every kind of sea treasure you've ever wanted to find. That's a sea slug that we talked about.
Slug,
It's so disgusting, and my little blonde Ziva over there said, "I'm not touching that," but my other daughter was happy to touch it.
Some kind of crustacean there.
Yep, lots of things to see, but it's really a unique place because the tides are such extremes. It gets really high, and then suddenly it's really low.
So you have a tide pool here, and
and you get sand dollars. I mean, I'm talking by the hundreds. You can find sand dollars
because
and
in California,
sea stars.
it's so sad, but the beaches are totally bare.
Yeah. No, maybe that's because they're all there. I don't know why that is, but it's a perfect place for, especially for little ones learning about the sea. You can just walk 10 feet and find octopi or octopuses, depending on who says it. I guess there's two ways to say that, but you can find them in shells and different sea critters. So I figured that's a good theme. Sand, all the places we've played in the sand, white sand, and
forgive me, this is Choya?
It's Choya Bay. It's about 8 miles from actual Puerto Penasco, but all the locals know it because that's where everybody goes for their shelling. And I talked to a guy, he's a kid, because I just got back from there. And,
yesterday?
Yeah, just that's why I'm kind of stuttering because I'm a little tired.
Rosalinda hasn't slept yet, you guys. She hasn't even been to sleep yet.
But it was worth it because we got to go to Mexico for the long holiday weekend and get to come back and see you guys. So. It's a lot of fun.
And you drive down there.
Yep, it's about 11 hours, and we just go, and it's one of the few places we actually relax. So I highly recommend if anyone wants to go.
It's a great family destination.
It is. I know people worry about the safety because of Mexico, and but you know, knock wood, we've been very fortunate to never have an issue at all. They're very tourist conscious, and they want to make sure that the tourists keep coming, so they're very aware of safety. And
do you meet other Americans, or are you meeting Germans, French, or
a mix?
International?
I would say the majority are from Arizona, Tucson, and Phoenix. But yeah, I always meet one or two international families, usually German or Swedish. We met a family from China last trip. Cool. And so yeah, it's great for my kids because they're getting exposed to lots of different people. And
are they picking up Spanish?
Yes, we're working on that.
Cool.
We're working on that. They understand a lot. I'm surprised how much they pick up. But I have to, tenemos que practicar.
Sí, seguro que sí, siempre.
Always, the more practice, the better. So, yeah, it's a great time, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode because it shows some of our adventures that we've had.
So going back to White Sands, because I haven't been, so I don't even remember it.
Well, and that's what I wanted to focus on with this episode was, of course, everybody thinks of the sledding and the big dunes, but there's all kinds of critters that live there as well. And so the ranger takes us around and talks to us about some of the things you would find at White Sands that you might not otherwise know about. We didn't get to see this, but they tell me there's like mammoth bones out there and really amazing things for paleontology and other kinds of studies. So Yeah, pretty cool. And you'll learn why the sand is white. So you want to watch New Mexicast after
And Rosalinda,
this.
how far of a drive is it to White Sands?
I think it's about 3.5 hours. We actually lived in Alamogordo for about a year when we moved back from living on the boat about 2 or 3 years ago. And so we went down a lot. It was very close to Alamogordo, and you know the Holloman Air Force Base is right there, and it surrounds the area. So it's a really unique place. You definitely should go.
Okay.
It's one of the must-sees in New Mexico.
All
It
right.
definitely is. Okay, New Mexicast on right after this show. There's 10 this morning. Hey.
Don't change that dial.
Yeah, that's the story. Rosalinda, good to see you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
It's great to see you.
All
Now
right.
you can go to sleep, sweetheart. Ya vas a descansar.
Hey, Brazilian music coming up with Baracutanga. Coming
Samba.
up after this.
Nice. That'll wake me up.
Yeah.